Hello, thank you for joining us. This is David Cohn from CTO of GivePro Donations, making giving go viral. Today I am with Josh, and Josh, why don't you tell us a little bit about your organization and your position over there?
Sure. My name is Josh Hirsch. I'm with Nonprofits First. We are a 10-year-old management service organization here in Palm Beach County, specifically to better nonprofits here in Palm Beach County. We want to strengthen them and make the nonprofit sector the best that it is through best practices here in Palm Beach County.
Awesome. And how did you decide to become involved with them?
Sure. I got my master's degree in Family Youth Community Sciences at the University of Florida back in 2005. Knew I wanted to give back, work with kids, work in the nonprofit sector. So I moved to Palm Beach County in 2006 and was on the front lines working with youth at a children's nonprofit. And over the years had a chance to move through the management, grow up into leadership, really focus on specifically nonprofit communications, digital communications specifically, and really have taken that as a niche. I understand the importance of telling your story. So having always been the fundraiser and been in those small nonprofits where I'm wearing the hat of fundraiser as well as marketing department at the same time, you have to have both left hand and right hand talking. So I've really been able to develop my skills, graphic design, email communications, web design, social media strategies, to be able to tell my nonprofit story as well as try to raise funds at the same time. So fast forward 8 years after being in the nonprofit world, I got burned out on asking for money. While I'm really proud of the impact and the legacy I've been able to leave through those organizations, it was time to really just focus on digital communications. And what I like specifically about Nonprofits First is that we're not focusing on a single cause in nonprofits. We're looking at the entire sector and making them better. So whether it's health and human services, animals, education, what have you, Nonprofits First is the sort of place that can make them all a better organization.
That's fantastic. And what kinds of services does Nonprofits First provide?
Sure. IT services is one of our main ones for nonprofit clients, for those that don't have an in-house IT department or can't afford to go to a shop outside, where that's something that we can provide both through IT cloud management as well as in-house server management. We do accreditation. There are about 80 plus organizations here in Palm Beach County that we accredit that allows them access to funding through other community partners. We do a leadership training program called our Rising Leaders, where we have about 25 to 30 leaders throughout nonprofits here in Palm Beach County go through our training, participate in service learning projects, so they're helping give back to other nonprofits by developing fundraising plans, strategic plans, marketing plans. We also have our educational workshop series, which is on various topics from social media, communications, fundraising, best practices, board development, grant management, what have you. We pretty much have a workshop for it.
That's fantastic. It's a lot of different services that local organizations can utilize. What do you think your clients would say about the work that you guys are doing?
We're that hub. We're what allows others to connect, whether they're participating in our networking opportunities to, because it's not about fighting for the same dollar. It's about making everyone better here in Palm Beach County. And yes, we know we have small circles and a small nonprofit community, but if we're able to make it stronger, then everyone else can be stronger. So we have a great relationship with our community partners and our clients.
Where do you see, what kind of services do you see getting added over the next coming years?
Sure. We're looking at expanding our marketing services specifically, looking at ways that we can help take on your content creation, content curation, social media strategies and management, website design, things that, unless you have a larger nonprofit or have the ability to work with an outside department, most organizations don't have someone that's just dedicated to doing digital communications or doing your marketing. You're lucky if you have that in most organizations.
There's a serious need across nonprofits with those types of things, especially the graphic design work. There's a lot of subpar volunteer efforts that are getting done, and while it's wonderful that people are lending a hand, it's not quite as professional as you guys would be able to do.
Exactly. It usually will fall upon that fundraising development department. Oh, well, that goes hand in hand with the marketing. So, take on that and take on those responsibilities. And sometimes that works out. But a lot of times, as you said, the graphic design goes to a volunteer. While volunteers are great, and we know that all nonprofits cannot exist without dedicated volunteers, from your board all the way down to your frontline volunteers. They're a key integral part. So I never say no to a volunteer, but it's knowing, volunteer management is a big part of nonprofits, how to find what their best talents are and use it to both your benefit as well as their benefit. There's nothing worse than going into volunteer for organization and they're like, okay, put mailing labels on. And you know what? I'm not here to do mailing labels. I'm here to help you create strategy. I'm here to help, go out and pick weeds in your garden so you can have a healthy garden. That's putting labels on envelopes is not the best use of my talents. So I really think that nonprofits have to be aware of their volunteers when it comes to this.
Thank you. In your experience, what are the two biggest fundraisers that are most effective, for nonprofits?
Sure. I think it's different for every organization, but when it comes down to it, the best one, in my opinion, is individual giving, just direct solicitation, identifying your donors through thought out research and cultivation, stewarding your donors properly. I think it's much easier to go back to a previous donor than it is to acquire a donor. Some organizations are built for special events, and that's how they do it. Some have your annual fund. It's really best dependent upon what that organization's needs are as well as the structure of that organization. But there's nothing better than just direct individual giving.
Thank you so much. And for everybody that's watching or reading, how can they get involved with you?
Sure. You can visit us online at nonprofitsfirst.org or visit us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, YouTube, and Instagram. While I think it's important to be on all channels, it's not possible. So you want to make sure what content we're sharing online, and we're very focused on that. We want to be that resource hub. So the stories and content we share on LinkedIn might be different than what we share on Twitter and different for our audience on Facebook, and obviously YouTube or Instagram are much more visually focused. So, we have our content that's specific for each one, and what we like to talk about is not just what's happening here in Palm Beach County, but what's happening in the nonprofit sector in general to make everyone better. So we like to highlight local stories as well as national stories too.
Well, thank you for all of the great work that you're doing locally in Florida and Palm Beach County, and look forward to working together in the future.
Sounds great, Dave. You have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.